All right, guys, so the Toronto Real Estate Board stats are out. This is what we review every single month. We're talking June 2023. It's been a very interesting month. We want to talk about what's going on in our marketplace. Is the market going down? The Bank of Canada increased interest rates again when we weren't anticipating it. Is that going to change the marketplace going forward? Has anything changed? I got to give you a little hint here. A couple things have changed, and in this video, we're going to review that right away. Let's take a look. Hey guys, this is Daniil from the King Realty Group. We've helped hundreds of people move in and out of the GTA. We know the marketplace like the back of our hand. We have active buyers and sellers in our marketplace today, so we definitely have a pulse on what's going on. Today we're going to review the June 2023 market stats. These are the Toronto Real Estate Board stats, which cover a big area here in the GTA. We're talking Durham, we're talking Peel region, York region, the city of Toronto, etc. So we're going to have a good idea of what's going on here in our GTA market. First off, we're going to take a look at our dot graph, which shows us where our average price has gone over a long period of time, and it's going to be interesting for you to see that. We're also going to take a look at our month-to-month numbers. What is the change between May and June, which is the latest stats that we have, and we're also going to take a look at how we stacked up against 2022 June versus June 2022. All right, guys, so let's take a look at our dot graph. Let's put it up on our screen. All right, guys, so here is our dot graph that gives us an idea of how our price has changed over time. We're now right at the end of this graph here, where we see what's been going on since the beginning of the year. We had kind of a little bit of a dip in towards the end of last year, 2022, and then we had a bit of a resurgence here in our average price over the last few months into the spring market. Now our latest numbers here from May to June, we see that we had a little bit of drop in average price, but it's interesting because we're actually above our price point of June 2022, which is like the first time that we've seen that in a few months. We've seen negative numbers for quite a while, and even though we had a slight dip month over month, it looks like our price point is over and above 2022's price now. So it's interesting to see how that's going to play out over the next few months. Are we going to continue to see a downward trajectory when it comes to our price point or average price? Is the increase of interest rates going to impact buyer behavior and we may see less sales going up? Or if the sales that are happening might be at a lower price point? Those are all things that could happen over these next few months. We're going to have to kind of see how that goes. This is how it looks like right now. We have a slight dip from the month of May. Now let's take a look at how that looks in our numbers. Okay, so let's switch the screen here real quick. Now guys, if you didn't know already, we review these numbers every single month. If you guys are interested in getting this information in your inbox versus here on YouTube, then below we have a couple links here so you can actually register to our monthly newsletter so you can get these updates right away as soon as we have them ready to go. Okay guys, so we're taking a look at our month-to-month numbers. How do we stack up in pace to May 2023? Let's take a look here. For detached homes, we have total sales of 3,377 with an average price of 1.53. We also have semi-detaches here at 678. Total sales, average price of 1.21. We also have townhomes at 1,233 sales, 978,842 is the average price. We got condos here at 2,122 sales with an average price of 739,395. So how does that fare compared to last month? Well, when we look at sales here, we're seeing that we have a decline in sales basically at all property types, double-digit decline in sales. There's gonna be a couple by a few things. A lot of people will say it's because of the interest rate change. That could be part of it. We're also going into a summer month. This year is a lot more normal when we compare to the last few years due to COVID. I think a lot of people are back to their normal routines. And makes sense that as we get into warmer months, into the summer months, that the real estate market typically slows down. That's like normal. So for us to have a lowering sales volume one month to the next, going into the summer months is kind of normal. And in this case, yeah, we have quite a bit of a dip. Well, I mean, it's not a huge dip if you notice. Although it's minus 16% from last month, I mean, we still have over 3,000 sales for detached homes, just to give you an example, okay? That price point also did drop for all properties except for semi-detaches, but not by much. We're talking about a 1 to 2% change in price, and that fluctuation is, I guess it's a change for sure. I wouldn't say it's a significant change, okay? And when we're looking at our average price here of 182,120, we're just down slightly here, about 1.17% from last month. But remember, this is quite a nice increase in price since the beginning of the year. And I'm actually going to share with you another screen here. Let me just change it over. Okay guys, so I did set up this new tab. It's our year-to-date tab. I think it's very relevant to know what's going on in our marketplace and kind of how we got here in this current year. So we're only up to June here. It's going to be interesting to see how this all fills out towards the end of the year. And of course, we track this every single month, so we're going to be populating as we go, and you can look back at previous videos to see how we got here. But as you can see here, and actually I should probably change here, is 2023. I'm assuming that there's increases. Truth is, this is just a change, right? This is just a change. So I'll update that to reflect accurately. In this case, we've had increases for such many years. I was getting used to it, but the last month was a decrease from May to June, and we see that reflected here. And we also see the price point reflected here for detached homes. We're actually going to take a look at each subtype as well, each different type of home, to see if there's any difference in that. But you see from the beginning of the year, we've had pretty much increases all along until last month, and it's still a 13% increase year to date from the beginning of the year, believe it or not, here in the GTA. Let's scroll along though. Let's take a look at our semi-detached numbers. Semi-detached numbers are actually even stronger than detached homes, and that's the only home type that actually had an increase from last month to this month. Sales did have a decrease though. So that's interesting to see. Take a look at our townhouses. So yeah, still 10%, still double-digit increase from the beginning of the year for townhomes. And if we take a look at condos here, pretty much our only home type that's below a double-digit increase, which is very interesting in when it comes to price. And we've had a fluctuating year here when it comes to increases and decreases in sales volume as well. Okay. Now at the bottom we see here in total we've had about a 12.24% increase in price when we include all property types, and our sales volume has definitely been up, since the beginning of the year. So very interesting to see. Okay guys, so let's pop on over to our year-to-date numbers and see how we compare to June 2022. All right, so let's take a look at our numbers here, guys. How do we compare to June 2022? In terms of sales, we had more sales this year than we did last year. Maybe that makes sense because we also had an increase in our average price, believe it or not, compared to June 2022. We increased slightly of just over 3%. You'll see that in the numbers in a sec, but yeah, our price point is actually higher this year than it was last year. And here are the numbers on a year-to-year basis. Is a quick summary here. So we had an increase of 16.5% in our sales. New listings are down slightly, or active listings are down slightly, which makes sense. There's still some multiple offers going on out there, believe it or not. Our price point has actually gone up 3.2%. which is very interesting. And because we've had, a pretty good last few months, a pretty good spring here in the GTA when it comes to, home buyers and sellers, a lot of activity. We had a decrease in our days on the market as well. So that's kind of in line with what I've been seeing, but it's going to be interesting to see how we continue on from this point. So guys, those were the numbers here in the GTA for June 2023. So we saw in our dot graph that we had a slight decrease month over month. Our month over month numbers confirmed that. We actually had a slight decrease in average price from last month, but we had double-digit decreases in sales. Now, is that because we're going into summer months and people are relaxing, they're going out on vacation, they're not worried about this whole housing thing? Or is it a bigger thing? Is it that the Bank of Canada increased rates and that's impacting buyer behavior? That very well could be it as well. So a couple points and tips here for our different clients, our buyers. Guys, we got to be very careful right now. If you've locked in a rate that's, around a 5%, and you have a few months available to make a purchase, I would make use of that rate lock, because a lot of fixed rates right now are actually hitting 6%. And obviously the variable rate are looking horrible, right? You're hitting almost 7% on those variable rates. And that's going to impact your monthly budget. It's all nice and well that you're getting an approval of $800,000, $900,000 for a property, but how much is that costing you per month? That is the toughest thing for buyers right now. You got to have good down payments and reducing that mortgage balance as much as possible in order to reduce your monthly rate. People who are trying to get into the market with 5% down, under 10% down, I mean, it's really hard. Even a 500 or 550, which is an entry-level condo here in the city, is going to cost you almost $4,000 a month or more when you add in all the maintenance fees and property tax and utilities, etc., etc. So you got to be really careful on your monthly budget. You got to go to a mortgage person that shops around and is able to look at a lot of different banks. I wouldn't be going to just one bank at this point in time. You got to definitely shop around for rates, get as low as you can, and as long as those monthly approximate values make sense to you and you're okay with actually paying that on a monthly basis, then this is when you can maybe move forward and at least select the house at a better price point. We have had relaxed pricing, compared to last year. We did get an increase in price over the last few months, but we already saw that from May to June, we had a decrease in price, and we may continue to see that into these summer months. We'll see if that even continues into the fall months, because who knows, we actually may get more interest rate increases coming up. So use your rate holds. Okay, or if you haven't done that already, speak to a mortgage broker right now. Get in touch with us and we'll get you connected with people who are trusted, tried, tested, and true. Get your rate held and have your eyes open for opportunities. And if we have better pricing going forward, I would love to get you into a house with a better price, as long as you're okay with those monthly payments and you have light at the end of the tunnel, because chances are then in the years to come, it might not be next year, it might be in 2 years, who knows, very hard to predict these things, but most likely we're gonna have lower rates in the future, and that's when your payment's gonna be a lot lower. When it comes to the sellers, guys, we might be running into a tough market coming up. I see and I feel the inventory levels rising. You're gonna have more competition in your neighborhood. You're gonna have more competition in your buildings. You're gonna now have to get proper photos, proper staging, proper video. Don't cheap out on the marketing, because you're gonna have to differentiate yourself from your competition in order to get yourself a decent price, okay? Multiple offers are still happening. They're still working for some properties. The nicer properties are getting them. Many people who are trying offer dates, listing low in order to attract buyers, they're not hitting their numbers. It's not working out on offer night. They got to remove their listing, relist back at a higher price. And I'm seeing that happening more and more. So, you might have to recheck your strategy and what's been working in your building, in your area, because it could be different. Okay, you can't leave it a chance. Now, if you're one of those people who are struggling right now as an investor, you have an investment property, your price on a month, your expense on a monthly basis has gone up so much because of the interest rates, and your income is not keeping up, like you're covering hundreds of dollars, not thousands of dollars or more per month, and it's not working out, it's not going to get better. These rates are going to continue to be high for a long period of time, and if you're already cash flow negative, that's not going to get better. You got to be okay with that yearly loss at this point if you have a lot of equity, or you probably should be looking into what's going on in your neighborhood. What price point can I get today? Because maybe in the future we may not be able to get those prices, and I don't know how long it's going to take before we're able to get them again. So sooner rather than later on the sellers, guys. That would be my opinion. Let me know if you need me to expand on that at all, okay? Now for our investors, again, expensive money out there, right? The interest rates are high, and sometimes you're even dipping into lines of credit. It's a tough one, but I would say the price. If you can find something that's a good deal, they're starting to come up, they exist. And if you do have cash, if you're able to put 20% down or more, and you're comfortable with a monthly commitment to that, then go for it. I have a property that is at 6% mortgage, and I'm still cash flowing. So they do exist. It is possible. If you can get a cash flowing property at this interest rate and you have a 20% or more, man, you're gonna love it in a few years from now, believe me. Okay guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. You have a great day and we'll talk to you soon. Daniel from King Realty. Message me if you have questions, okay? Because I know I can help you out with this sort of stuff, okay? I do know how to navigate these waters, trust me. Talk to you soon.